All right. So I said this. I do kind of feel with the Lakers, it kind of does feel like, Westbrook, he doesn't wear well over time. AD's slightly declining. LeBron's older. Frank Vogel, a lot of egos, could be turbulent. It kind of feels like this may be LeBron's last great shot, right? No longer do young stars saddle up with LeBron like they did in Miami, feeling, I'll go win a championship with LeBron. It does feel like, to me, this year, this could be LeBron's last king of the hill year where he's a favorite, he goes and wins, or am I too hyperbolic here?
No, Colin, I don't know why you're equivocating. Like, why are you half-stepping on this? Without question, they've pushed all their chips to the middle of the table. This is the last gasp. Let's get all of the old guard together. Let's get a bunch of guys who have not won a championship and may be hungry for it and may be willing to sacrifice in order to get it done. Let's see if this ultimately will work. But with 5 guys over the age of 35, and I believe 9 on the roster over the age of 30, we know which direction this team is going. And they've basically spent all of their assets, all of their young assets and building blocks in order to take this one last shot. And look, LeBron doesn't need it to justify the move to LA, but ultimately, if we're going to say this was an unqualified success in coming to the Lakers, 2, without question, sounds better than 1.
Yeah.
But just be forewarned, if they don't get it, they are falling off the cliff after this. Like, they are old and expensive, and that's not a good thing to have with a guy who's 37 years old, who you cannot replicate with another piece. It's not like we're going to find somebody else and we can kind of massage this and build around him instead of LeBron. They already tried that. That was the idea with Anthony Davis. We've already seen that it's not going to go in that direction. So you don't have to, question that you're moving in this direction. Open up the sail and go up full bore.
Yeah.
This is the last best chance.
Okay, how does Kyrie play out? I said this last year when he disappeared for 2 weeks. He's the only star in my life I'd trade for bench players. I just get him out of the organization. He said he won't retire, which I think does give Brooklyn a little tiny crevice to potentially move him. I think the Clippers could be an interesting place. How do you think it ends in Brooklyn with Kyrie?
I think it's just one of 2 things. Well, the first thing will be that they just want to see how long is this mandate going to stay in place? And how can we get along through the first 15, 20 games? What do we look like? Are we sailing? Are we fine? Are we okay? I hate to use the sailing reference twice in a row, but how are we? And if we're okay with Kyrie being on the side, then maybe we just wait this out and we get him back when the mandate is loosened and see where we go. Now, if they're struggling right out of the gate, then that's obviously an asset that they can translate into an addition of talent. But the other tricky part is going to be, regardless of what he says as far as I'm not going to retire, the question still is, what impact is he going to have on your franchise? And is he going to be there because of, or not be there because of something else that's come up, some other cause that distracts him or that he finds more important? He said it at one of the post-game press conferences. Basketball just wasn't that important to him. It wasn't the most important thing. I think it was the Palestine-Israel conflict, and he had just spent 2.5 hours playing basketball. But as soon as he got to the podium, there were more important things. So, if I'm running a franchise and what I have to pay Kyrie Irving and what I'd have to give up to get Kyrie Irving, a guy that's not all in on doing his job is not a guy I would want in my franchise. For the same reason that you're saying, if I'm Brooklyn, I would like to move on without him. I would think every other franchise would have the trepidation of bringing him in.
By the way, Ben Simmons, we got a couple of minutes left. I said this years ago. When a player's a problem, get on the phone, do it quietly, move him. It only gets worse. The player has more leverage. Does Ben Simmons have a market in this league? Could you trade him?
Oh, yeah, you can trade him. You just can't trade him for what where Daryl Morey has set the standard. You're not going to get a C.J. McCollum, much less a Damian Lillard. You're not going to get a Bradley Beal. You're going to have to, Daryl Morey's going to have to get to the point where he believes in addition by subtraction. And that's not where he is right now. The problem is with Ben, is that Ben very much wants to be traded. He has made that clear. They have not traded him. So now he said, you know what, you embarrassed me last summer by saying that I was the reason, one play was the reason that we lost the series to the Atlanta Hawks. You put that all on me. You know what? I'm going to embarrass you now. I'm going to show up in order to get my paycheck, but I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to let you think that you can talk me into returning. I'm going to be I'm going to humiliate you in the same way that you humiliated me last summer. And that's what he's about. The problem is that undermines the ability to trade him, because everybody's looking at it saying, well, Daryl has to move him. It has to be addition by subtraction. So we're going to lowball him. And Daryl's like, no, I got a team that's, I think, on the cusp of playing for a championship. I need to get talent that can help me right now. Draft picks isn't going to do it. Young talent isn't going to do it. I need a bona fide all-star coming back in my direction. And that's just because of the way Ben is handling it and where Daryl has set the bar. There's no easy solution right now. I would imagine what they're going to try to do is hope that they can get, again, very much like the Kyrie Irving situation. Let's see the first 15, 20 games. Let's see if somebody who thinks they're a title contender starts to panic. Let's see if the Los Angeles Lakers get off to a terrible start and say, you know what, we got to change something up. We need to add some defense. Could they bite on something? That, I believe, is going to be the strategy at this point, because there is not a market for Ben Simmons as of right now, at least not one that Daryl Morey finds suitable.
All right, league starts tonight. Good seeing you, buddy. Ric Bucher, Fox Sports NBA analyst. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.